that I think might have... I don't know, but if it really did get manually reviewed, though... Maybe there's a limit to length on, like, how long a video will be before somebody won't manually review it. How do they intend you to get up to this Yosh? There's not going to be another mushroom. No, sir. So I don't know how to get to that Yosh without a cape or anything. So we're going to have to just try to go fast. Into the hole. The thing is, there's a conveyor belt in that hole that drags you all the way to the end of the level. It's fine, guys. We have 59 free lives. We're not going to die. Everything's going to be great. I do want to see if there's a power-up, and there is indeed. Okay. Heyo! I like this. Alright, so good times. So you don't want to push the Y button while on those platforms, or you'll pick up the block and fall into the hole underneath. What's this here? That's just coinage. Aha! I thought I was going to bounce on that guy because my Starman was running out, but... But yes, I think something about... Something tells me that me discussing a movie where a teenage boy falls into a wood chipper and is gruesomely removed from this here mortal coil. Oh, we gotta read the thing, because it says you are a Super Nintendo. Excellent. So it's possible that this video will get flagged not suitable for advertisers, but I felt like it was important to share. If you guys ever open up a newspaper, Florida man jumps into wood chipper, you'll know that I had enough. That was it. And you'll also know that Peanut had a really terrible Saturday. Going through this star road takes us back to Yoshi's Island, but it changes the whole world, and everything looks weird now. So it kind of inverts the colors of the maps, which is interesting. And all the star roads and special areas are behind us now. The inside of the Vanilla Dome gets nice and chocolatey. And there are some other changes inside of levels. And I wish there was a way to revert these changes. Because once you do this, it's like this for your whole playthrough. There's nothing else you can, nothing else you can do to change it back to the way it was. In case you wanted the Forest of Illusion to go back to being nice and green. Okay, so we've got Mario Mask Koopas instead of the actual Koopas now. They still function the same way, it's just we will never again see another Koopa in this entire playthrough because they're all going to be wearing silly Mario masks now. Fortunately, pretty much every level from here to the end of the game is much easier than what we've just experienced in the special world. Oh, checkpoints! I forgot about those were things that existed. This is a level that as a kid I used to come to get 99 lives. You get a star out of that box back there. And then it's really, really easy. Oh, we want to get the regular ending and then come through for the crap ending. It's actually really easy to get through your 1-up progression in this level using the Starman. And if you do that, each of these wigglers gives you 2-up instead of 1-up. So it's really easy to get 99 free lives pretty much effortlessly in this stage. If you just come back and exploit the Starman, as it were. We want to make sure we do each level in turn, because this is a very easy place to forget an exit, and if you get to the end of the game and you don't have all the exits, there's no easy way to really figure out which ones you don't have. Some of them are obvious because they're actual, like, exits. That you just, there are paths on the world map that you can very plainly see are missing, but some of them are not that easy. Some of them are, like you'll see in Forest of Illusion, there are a couple that are not. I think also completing the special world puts more blue Koopas into the game. I think it turns some of the green and red ones in the universe into blue ones. Which means more Yoshi Flight, which means more fun. Okay, so there's going to be 2 exits from that ghost house, but we want to do the forest lake first. In fact, I think we want to do the secret exit of the forest lake first, because that should take us to the last of the 4 switch palaces. I liked the idea of the switch palaces. I thought they were cool in Mario World. I understand why, you know, we got to abandon the Yosh here. It's probably better to have fireballs than Yosh tongue anyway. I understand why the idea was kind of streamlined for future Mario games. Yoshi's Island, for example, there are switches, but they're kind of just timer things, like you hit a switch and then blocks appear for a few minutes. Or Mario 64, where they just make power-ups appear. They don't actually change where the platforms are in the levels, because affecting that kind of change... Do I want to go all the way down here? I think I do, actually. Yeah, this looks fine. Affecting that kind of swooping change over the entire level, and then not being able to go back and play the levels in the original state, this is not the way I wanted to go. Upon further reflection. I get why they thought that that wasn't a great design choice going forward in the series. Kind of a one-and-done experiment just in Mario World. Like, another thing that you could lump into that is having 2 jump buttons. Mario has a jump button, which makes him jump, and he's got a spin jump button, which makes him different jump. And it makes sense in the game, but I can see from like a design standpoint how a more streamlined jump is more more efficient, less confusing for some players maybe, more elegant certainly. And in future Mario games, what they do instead is you've got a bunch of different kinds of jumps, but typically you do them with different motions. Like if you're moving in a particular way and jump, you'll get different kinds of jumps. A long jump, a high jump. Some Mario games you can just duck for a while, then you get a ducking super jump, I think is one they use a lot. Mario 2 uses that, Mario 64, and I don't think I really care about... You can hit this gray one and it turns the Spinies into coins. You collect all the Spiny coins, you get a 1-up, but... Man, that's just a lot of work. I'd rather just spin jump onto this blue switch. We have all the switches now, which means all of the platforms in all of the levels now exist. Beautiful. You also can't go back into the Switch Palaces once you've completed them, which is just, it's too bad, really. It's just too bad. Yeah, it's better to have fireballs underwater anyway, rather than the cape or the Yosh. The good old Yosh man. I was at a church function once. Back in, this had to have been the mid-90s, 95, 96, somewhere around there. So Super Mario World had been out for a little while, and there'd been a couple of games with Yoshi in it. I don't think Mario 64 was... Yoshi wasn't in Mario 64 anyway, so it doesn't matter. But, like, I think Yoshi's Island was out. Like, he was a popular Nintendo character at the time. And we used to do trivia night. There was like a weekly... It was a weekly, like, potluck dinner at my church. Where every Wednesday night, you would go and we'd get free dinner. I guess the idea was you were supposed to, like, bring a dish and everybody would share dishes, but my family, my father was, like, an actual church employee. He lived on the church grounds. So I guess we just showed up and ate. We never brought anything that I can recall. Which, probably for the best, because, like I mentioned in a previous video, my Aunt Lynn, God bless her soul, was one of the best cooks I've ever known. My stepmother, not so much. So maybe just nobody wanted to eat what she had to make. And also, God bless her soul, too. I'm an atheist. I shouldn't be talking about what God blesses anyway. But I do have church stories. That's why I'm an atheist. I've got so many church stories that I've reached a point in my life, I'm like, that's enough! No more church stories. I'm done with all of that. I think we have to go... We can go back to the ghost house now. But we used to do, like, trivia games and stuff at the church potluck thing that we did every Wednesday night. I hated going to these, by the way, as a kid. They were boring. I would much rather have been home watching TV or playing Nintendo or something. And I think my parents eventually reached a point where they're like, all right, you can stay home, but then there's no dinner because dinner is what they're serving at the potluck. You can either go and eat or you can stay home and starve. And I remember it, you know what, for the past few years, the last few years that my father lived in Florida, I must not have gone to those because I was like, oh, wait a minute. I'm a teenager with a job and I can like buy my own food and it's great. And I never had to go to their church potluck ever again. But no, we used to do a trivia night, and I remember very plainly, like, the trivia questions were written by the, I want to say the music director at our church wrote the trivia questions. I got booed, is what happened there. Boo. Here, I think we want to go backwards, right? This is what I was thinking that one castle was. Because, yeah, we go back to this door now. Beautiful. But one of the trivia questions, like, it was usually framed as, like, a kids versus adults things. Like, the church elders, the pastors, I think the music director did the bulk of the work. Because his job was, like, entertainment director at the church. It was his job to organize and host the potlucks. That's kind of how it went. But he, it was like he would like write these questions, and there was a group of questions he wrote like for the kids to answer, that the idea is like the kids wouldn't know the answers, and there was a group of questions like the adults wouldn't know the answers, and so it could be framed as like a kids versus adults kind of thing. And I think there is a secret exit from there, or maybe that was the secret exit, and now we need to find the regular exit in the ghost house. And it was always terrible because you have a 40-ish-year-old man trying to write like hip, cool questions that like the kids would know, but the adults would not. And it was always just a horror show. It was always just really cringy. And what I wouldn't give now to like get my hands on just some of his notes from back then. I would host trivia night on my Twitch channel, courtesy of the music director from my church in the mid-90s, and it would be fantastic. But one question in particular I remember is he wrote, like, what is a Yoshi? The idea was, like, this is a question that, like, adults wouldn't know. Adults wouldn't know what a Yoshi is. But first of all, what is a Yoshi, not who is Yoshi? If you actually know who and what Yoshi is, like, you wouldn't frame what is a... I guess it is also technically the species of the critter, but Yoshi is considered more of a character than the species. Like, you don't speak of Yoshi in terms of it being a species, usually. In Yoshi's Island, maybe, like, it talks about all of the Yoshis. So, okay, maybe I could give a pass for that. Maybe. But then he spelled Yoshi Y-O-S-H-I-E, which is just adorable. God bless this man. I seem to recall... Let's see, I must have... Let me see if I get the timeline right here. My father moved out of the States 2002. He said for years, I'm gonna... Once my youngest boy graduates high school, I'm out of here. And my younger brother graduated high school in 2002. I think it's clear I don't know where the other exit is in this ghost house. Let's try this, maybe? This isn't gonna work. This just takes me back to where I was. Can I go further back, maybe? Maybe there's 2 doors, and each one goes to an exit? Because there's nowhere else in this ghost. No, it's going to be a P-switch door. I got to make it back before the P-switch expires. And then there's a moon, and that's the other exit. But yeah, I seem to remember a church scandal. So around the time I graduated high school, I graduated 2000, class of double aughts. Double aught 0. And see, that counts as an exit, but it just builds a path that already existed. So, not super helpful. I remember a church scandal, like this music director was sleeping with a bunch of people's wives. I don't remember all the details. I think that's probably fine, because I'm not going to say the man's name anyway. So if I get details wrong, it's not like I'm slandering anybody. But, yeah, I remember, like, church scandals about that. and I think he had to resign. Or maybe he didn't resign and that was the scandal. Like, oh, so-and-so was cheating on its wife and Jesus doesn't like that, so he had to resign, but he decided not to. Anyway, I think we need Yoshi to go down a pipe in this level. I wish that Lakitu would leave me alone. This pipe here. I'm calling it now. That's the pipe that I want. So we need a way to get up into that pipe. My man here can help. My homeboy. My Mario Mask. Good old Zora. I'm going to take this hit, and then I'm going to bounce down the pipe. Oh, we don't need Yoshi. Okay. There is a cave in one of these levels where you need Yoshi to eat the key through a wall in order to get to the key. I almost said key switch. Is that a word? Key switch? Like a switch you need a key? I don't know. You know what? This time I'm going to let Fish and Boo just keep fishing. Hoss. Never mind. I'm not going to do that thing that I said. I especially like later on there's a ghost Lakitu that does like ghost stuff. Like he's fishing with a ghost that hurts you. I always thought that was kind of funny because it's like you would think that, whoa, Glitchy Cloud. What's up, Glitchy Cloud? You would think that like the fishing Lakitu would try to maximize his chances of catching Mario by using something enticing as bait, as a one-up. So I just always thought of this ghost Lakitu as like, yeah, I like ghosts, so Mario must also really like ghosts. So I'll just fish with a ghost, and it'll be fine. Oh, I guess these blocks are here to kill the Lakitu. Oh, look! The piranha plants are weird jack-o'-lantern faces. I apologize for making the piranha plants weird jack-o'-lantern faces. That's too bad. Trying to think, can I just make the whole theme of this video like crazy church stories for back in the day? We used to go on like summer retreats with our church youth group. Like what they would do is like the whole youth group, so 20 or so kids, would go camping or something, and we never actually like went actual camping like sleeping bags and tents, but like typically what would happen is like one of the church, like one of the congregation would like have a summer house out somewhere. I don't think we ever left the state. I think it was always in Florida. We go all over the state. People would have summer houses. Like, oh, I've got a cabin in Homosassa Springs. Wow, I threaded that needle. That took skill. That took skill and ambivalence. Mm-hmm. So usually we go like up to this cabin. And like 20 kids, you'd have kids like in every room of the house. We'd still bring sleeping bags, but it was because there weren't enough beds. I remember the farm in Homosassa Springs is the one I'm thinking of right now. And I want this cue block. It's probably a mushroom. It is a mushroom in my face. Oh, look at that. Look what happened. But the youth group would usually script like a... It was like a theater club kind of thing, the youth group. They would put on like performances and stuff for the various church functions. Like every Christmas, the kids would do, like there would be a regular Christmas program, and then the kids would do like a kids' Christmas program as well. So it was kind of like a drama club kind of thing. And so for these youth group treats, what they would do is they would script out like little plays and like a story. And this one, it was seemed like a murder mystery. Like, everybody had a part to play, and there was going to be murders, and then we'd have to figure out, like, who murdered who. Like, my character was, like, the son of, like, this crazy alcoholic dad who gets murdered because of gambling debts, and... Shoutouts to Toodlesteam for sponsoring this video. If you liked the video and you want to see more, please tickle my thumb, leave a friendly comment, and ring my little bell.